Let's talk to Lisa. Lisa, who's calling in from Canada. Oh, Canada. Lisa, you are live on Talk Heathen. What's going on?
Hi. I'm an atheist, first of all.
Sure.
But I have kind of a question. Just to, I guess, give some context. My question is, well, why does, when something like kind of like unbelievable happen, like why is it sometimes tempting to think that there was some sort of like, I don't know, special involvement for something we don't like? I want to just, like, I was really, really sick a few months ago. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, and I tried like everything. I tried everything to get better. And then I just tried this one treatment, and I like was like a new person the next day. And I was like, it was really tempting. Well, not really tempting. It was a little tempting for me to kind of think like, oh, maybe there is something out there.
Sure.
I mean, I don't believe it.
Yeah. No.
Like, why is it sometimes like, why does our mind like sometimes go there when something that we can't really explain or understand
That's
happen?
a great question. I want to address this first, Jamie. I want to hear your thoughts. I mean, this is a great research question that a lot of people have tried to answer. So, like, a lot of people make this argument, right, that, look, if you look across cultures, there are lots of people that have religions, or at least are superstitious in one way or another. And some people say, well, that points to evidence that there must be something beyond us, right? Something higher. I actually think it points to that we are all evolved and have evolved similar mechanisms, right? So like sociologists and folks who work in anthropology have really kind of looked at this question, and there's a couple of different hypotheses. I don't know if there's like a single answer that is talked about in the field, but you know, the simple answer is this: when you are in the African savannah and you think that there is something moving in the bushes, right, you want to assume that it's a predator in order for you to make it safe for yourself rather than anything else, because having that assumption kind of helps you survive, right? If you know, and you don't actually know what's there, it could be something that's safe, but it's better to be safe than sorry in that sense. And so like that kind of sense that we have is kind of like the progenitor of this idea of higher beings. We seem to want to appeal to some of these fire forces to protect ourselves in some way. So it's almost like this evolutionary sort of concept.
Yeah,
right?
we are pattern matching machines.
Right, exactly. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah. Which is why you get phenomena like pareidolia. I see a face in the cloud, or I see Jesus in my toast, or something like that.
Yeah.
We are deeply fallible, flawed machines that were brought up by the forces of evolution to essentially do the best we can with what we have. And unfortunately, in the modern world, with our higher thoughts and higher aspirations to knowledge, that can we can trick ourselves.
Yeah. And so I think it's a combination. I think it's that sort of sense that we have of self-preservation, and also just the hierarchies that we've developed through religious institutions, right? Like, we seem to have the sense that if we make certain kinds of appeals to the church or to, you know, the God of this religion, that it's going to help us in some way, right? I think it influenced that sort of self-preservation. And some of that has to be culturally influenced too, right? Because when I thought I was doing bad, I thought I would pray to God, right? Somebody who grew up as like an Aborigine is not going to have that sense, right? They don't care about the Christian God, if probably, right? They're going to care about whatever other kinds of forces are culturally influenced there. So, you know. And
correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, but I'm hearing a little bit in your voice, a little bit of hesitancy. Being susceptible to thoughts of superstition doesn't make you a bad skeptic, or a bad atheist, or a bad person. It's perfectly fine to have those thoughts as long as you can rationalize them away, and even still act on some of them. I won't let people roll my D&D dice for me. There's no reason for me to not let them, but I still don't. It's irrational.
Yeah.
I know it's irrational. It's harmless.
Yeah. So there you go. That's I mean, our thoughts on it. What do you think?
I think that's pretty accurate. Like it wasn't enough to like actually make me start believing in God or anything like that.
Sure.
It was just kind of like, because like I almost died, like, so to experience that, it was like, I don't know. I also like, I don't know, maybe part of the reason why I thought that is because I was in a different mind frame, maybe.
It's a stressful time to be that sick, and I'm very glad that you got better. Hopefully you're on the mend.
Yeah, for sure.
I think part of the reason why, and it's like, I hope, no judgment or anything, but the thing that I was sick with is like, I was, I have like a mental illness, and it was getting so bad that I just didn't want to be here anymore. And and so like, for when you're in like that kind of dystopian world, like everything feels dystopian to you. Like it's easy to feel susceptible that, oh, maybe there's something out there that like, cured this or whatever.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, it wasn't enough for me to like actually, believe that there's like, I grew up in the Catholic Church. I don't believe in any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But like
100%.
I was just wondering.
You don't have to apologize for anything. I mean, like, look, if I got, I don't want to put a curse on myself here or anything, but if I got like cancer tomorrow, for example, right, and I found that like traditional methods of treatment weren't working, I might go out there and look at some of the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a very natural sense that people have. Again, it's your self-preservation, right? Like, if you are in a desperate state of mind, you want to look for whatever's going to help you, even if that means a higher power that you've previously been skeptical of. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's perfectly natural. I'm glad that you're finding the help now. At least it sounds like you're finding the help now, and don't have to rely on that, because for some people, that becomes their whole identity, right?
Yeah.
That becomes, that's what convinces them for things.
And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I know it can be tough to do that, and you didn't have to. We appreciate the clarification.
Yeah.
And I just want to say to anyone who's listening, if you're really struggling and you feel like you're ready to just completely give up and not be there, like, please go get help for yourself. Like, we do have the science to be able to help people. And I just want to relay that message to anyone who's watching, that it's okay to ask for help when you need it.
That's a great message, and I think that's a great way to leave on this topic. Lisa, thank you so much for sharing that and being so open about what you went through in that circumstance. And absolutely, like that totally makes sense. I especially, a couple of years ago, if I found myself in that spot, I would definitely turn to Christianity to help,
I've got stories I could tell of myself and family members that have gone to superstition because of desperation. And in the darkest times, it is easy to fall to it. And in my day job, I interact with people who are ill and looking to get help. And a lot of them are seeking those alternative, unproven things out of that survival instinct, or care for their family. Like, it's usually family saying, we want, like, my mom is sick, can you help them?
Yeah.
We need help.
And these are the issues that should give us pause as folks who talk about this, because, like, to completely say, oh, everything you believe is bullshit and you should switch to something else. I mean, like, you could be right, but are you going to be convincing to somebody in that moment? You know what I mean? Like, there is a delicate sort of balance there you have to really interweave in your social interactions with people. I don't know. I don't have a hard, good answer for every single case. I think it has to be a case-by-case thing on how you address that with friends and family, but it's certainly difficult.
And on the flip side of it, there are so many organizations, religious and non-religious, and people who are absolutely willing to capitalize on that weakness.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is terrible. I will speak out against that all day, every day. So no questions there.